The economy and the war in Ukraine will be addressed by President Biden in his State of the Union speech tonight.
CBS 2's Dick Brennan here now with more on what to expect to hear from the president tonight. Dick?
Well, Maurice and Christine, the White House says in tonight's speech, the president will lay out efforts he's taken with U.S. allies to stand up against Russia's aggression, including punishing economic sanctions and efforts to keep Russia from impacting American consumers. President Biden's first State of the Union address comes at a time of extraordinary upheaval, both abroad and at home. The war in Ukraine will likely be a central part of the president's address.
There's no question that this speech is a little different than it would have been just a few months ago.
The war is looming large economically on Americans. I asked Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg if the administration is planning any moves to counteract the likely spike in energy prices.
Shortly before I'm speaking to you now, we learned of the conclusion of a deal that will allow 60 million barrels of oil to be released, strategic petroleum reserves from the United States and a number of other partner countries, all acting at the same time in an effort to stabilize those global energy markets.
There's also a call for change in oil and natural gas production, given that Russia is a major supplier to the European Union.
Do we need to come to the EU's aid by perhaps increasing our production of energy in order to counter what they might lose from Russia?
I'm strongly in favor of providing the European Union with more liquefied natural gas. Europe is heavily dependent on Russia for natural gas.
Critics say the president didn't move quickly enough against Russia.
We're headed in the right direction. I just wish he had started and implemented these sanctions sooner and got equipment and the weapons and everything that they needed prior to the invasion so they would be prepared.
Security will be tight around the Capitol for the address, and there will be a change to the rules which will make this year's speech look different than last year's joint address to Congress. The House chamber is expected to be full, and masks are optional.
COVID cases are significantly dropping. Communities are reopening. Mask mandates are reversing.
And there will be many other topics, but the administration's effort to combat the coronavirus pandemic is also expected to be a major topic tonight. Christine.
Dick, thank you. You can watch President Biden's State of the Union address and the Republican response right here on CBS 2. CBS News coverage begins at 9 o'clock.